Sallallahu alayhi ya Rasulullah wa sallam alayka ya Habibullah. जुल्फ देखी है कि नजरों ने घटा देखी है, जुल्फ देखी है कि नजरों ने घटा देखी है, जुल्फ देखी है कि नजरों ने घटा देखी है, लुट गया जिसने मोहम्मद की अदा देखी है, लुट गया जिसने मोहम्मद की अदा देखी है। अपने चेहरे को छुपाना ना मेरे आका, अपने चेहरे को छुपाना ना मेरे आका, बाद मुद्दत के बीमारों ने शफा देखी है, बाद मुद्दत के बीमारों ने शफा देखी है, लुट गया जिसने मोहम्मद की अदा देखी है, लुट गया जिसने मोहम्मद की अदा देखी है।
MashaAllah, Jazakallah khair. I'd like to invite one of our other guests here, MashaAllah, from the prophetic path, Brother Maulana Shabir Hassan Sahab, MashaAllah, of Aage Tashrif le aaye, and to explain about the work and the mission of the prophetic path. Let's welcome him with Nare Takbir, Nare Risalat, Nare Haidari, Nare Ghawsiya.
Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen, wa salatu wa salamu ala ashrafil anbiya'i wal mursalin wa ala alihi wa ashabihi ajma'in. Amma ba'd, fa'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Wa ma khalaqtul jinna wal insa illa liya'budun. Sadaqallahu al-azim. Inna Allaha wa malaikatahu yusalluna 'alan nabiy ya ayyuhalladhina amanu sallu 'alayhi wa sallimu taslima. Allahumma salli ala sayyidina Muhammad wa ala ali sayyidina Muhammad. All praise to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Peace and salutations upon the beloved Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam, upon the parents, upon the family of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, upon the friends of Allah, and upon the whole ummah. Alhamdulillah, we are here today, and it does not befit me to speak, especially in the presence of all these tabarrukats, and we believe that anything which is associated with Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam is like we are speaking or we in the presence of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So, but our mission, we have to explain to people what the mission is so people understand. It's good and well that we look at the tabarrukats and take blessings from it, but the real blessing is in following the way of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Imagine if you're looking at the tabarrukats and you go home and your life doesn't change and your life is just the same. Imagine how would Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam feel on the day of judgment. And this is the reason why we're here. We're educating ourselves and we're educating as many as we can to know the path, the prophetic path, to know what did Rasulullah wanted you to do, what did Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala want from you. Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned the ayat, the Quran I recited, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions that I've created man and jinn, but for my worship only, or to some of the scholars have mentioned to get to know Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Now, if we don't know our own self, where we have come from, what is the reason we are here in this world, how will we know how to reach Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? How will we know what does Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala want from us? How will we know what did the Messenger wanted from us? So we'll be living our life according to what our own desires are, our own nafs. For example, we want to do something, we'll go and do it. We want to buy something, we'll go and do it. But we won't think twice whether, is this the way of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam? Is this what would Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam be happy if I bought this thing? Would Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam be happy if my behavior is like this? I mean, we all believe that whatever you do throughout the day gets presented to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So you cannot hide the things from Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So you can't be a believer outwardly, and then when you go into your homes, you're somebody else. This is the scenario that outwardly we might have the beard, we might wear the Imam Sharif, and we're all in the masjid, we're all pious and righteous. But when we go home, we disrespect our mothers, we disrespect our wives. You know, we don't even care whether what's our wife. She's been at home all day. You know she needs a rest. Is she here to cook, clean? We abuse our parents. Sometimes we even hit them. You know, and this is the true scenario, that how we are openly, how we are physically, outwardly, that's how we should be inwardly as well. And this is the way of the prophetic path, that it teaches you how to become like this. It teaches you, for example, outwardly, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us the 7 organs of the body. The eyes, the ears, the hands, the tongue, the stomach, the private areas, and the feet. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us a mind and a heart. Now our bodies should resemble, inwardly, outwardly, the body should resemble Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. How did Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam speak with the tongue? Do we even know how they spoke with the tongue? Have we even done any research? Have we even looked into it? What did Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam tell us to refrain from? Do we know about this? What does Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told us? With this tongue I've given you, what does Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has told us to refrain from? Backbiting. Do we refrain from backbiting? Soon as we pray our salah in the masjid, soon as we come out of the masjid, straight away, oh, do you remember that? Oh, that guy's done this, that guy's done that. You know, and we say things. And we don't realize that by saying things like this, it's going to take us into the hellfire. Because in the Quran, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned, like, backbiting is like eating the flesh of your brother. You know what I mean? And that's the type of the punishment that person will receive in the hereafter. So backbiting, in one of the narrations, it's been stated that a person's tongue will be rolled miles and miles long. And imagine scissors made out of fire, his tongue will be cut in the hereafter. That's one of the punishments for backbiting. And what is backbiting? Backbiting is something you say behind somebody's back which is true. Which is true. And if it's not true, then it becomes slandering. So what it is, we learn about Aqidah, we learn about fiqh, which is alhamdulillah good. Aqidah is the root, and the fiqh is like the branches of a tree. But the fruits of it is the tazkiyah, is the purification. Without the three going hand in hand, the person will not enter into paradise. Because imagine, just the scenario, just think, for example, you've acquired so many good deeds, you've done Umrah, you've done Hajj. Now you backbited somebody throughout the day or throughout your life. You've looked at illicit things with your eyes that you should be looking at, haram. With your hands, you've acquired wealth, haram, by earning money and then taking money off the government as well at the same time. And with your stomach, eating haram. With that money that you're earning, eating haram now in your stomach. And with your private areas and your feet, doing haram things. Now all of these sins, now your good deeds are there. So even by backbiting somebody, what will happen is, your good deeds on the day of judgment, there'll be queues of people waiting to take away your good deeds. One by one, they'll complain to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he said this about me. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, okay, give me his good deeds. Then the second person will come, and same thing will happen to him. Eventually, he won't have anything. And then the queue is still there. And they say, Allah, he said this about me. then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, okay, give your bad deeds to him. So all the bad deeds now will be gone on top of his head. Imagine he started off with a mountain full of good deeds, and then in the end he's got nothing. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tell the angels to drag him in the hellfire. Why? Because he didn't protect his tongue. And the person who joins the prophetic path, we will teach them how to protect their tongue. There's approximately 14 diseases of the tongue. So we teach you, we'll tell you each and every way what is this disease, what are the harms of the disease, and how you rectify this as well. So we tell you, and at the same time, there's an online, this is all online as well, and physically you can do it as well. And there'll be a mentor appointed to look after you all every step of the way. If you struggle in any way, for example, you start off with the tongue for 30 continuous days, you try to refrain from the disease of the tongue. And when you start refraining from the disease of the tongue, then this is where you make Rasulullah happy. So the Prophet said to the newsman in a hadith, that if you give me guarantee of two things, I give you guarantee of Jannah. One is the tongue, and the other one is the private areas. You know, so he said, Allah subhanahu has made it easy for us, but we make it hard upon ourselves because we don't have that knowledge on how to do this. So then once you complete the tongue, and then we'll give you the next organ. So step by step, as you're going along, you will purify these organs. And then what will happen is, after you've done the 7 organs, you go into the mind, and then the heart. Now this course is free of charge. Yeah, there is no money involved at all. Everybody who's going to help you on this is free. All the leaflets you can take is free. Any advice that you want is free. But all we're saying is that don't just say that you're a lover of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Behave like the way Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam behaved. They were one of the kindest human beings upon this earth. They were one of the generous human beings upon this earth. And now if everybody did purify themselves and everybody did do tazkiyah, what would happen? There would be nobody in the world, there would be no fighting amongst each other. There would be no fighting at all. There would be no fighting because everybody would be following the way of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. They would be like people of Jannah. Why is there no arguments and fighting in Jannah? Because they're all purified. They're all purified. So there will be no fighting here upon this earth as well. So it's a great opportunity. Many people have joined this path and their lives have become better. They become good husbands. They become good fathers. They become good teachers. And many things. They become good workers. So this affects directly. For example, if somebody is going through a marriage problem, why is he going through a marriage problem? It might be one of the reasons that he's not protecting his eyes and he's looking at other women. And now what will happen is his wife doesn't look attractive. So this creates problems. So on this path, you learn about all these things and how to refrain from this. And one of the best things you learn is how to fight the shaitan. Is your enemy, unseen enemy that you can't even see, how to fight him. And how you can fight your nafs at the same time as well. And this is the way of the awliyas, this is the way of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Rasulullah taught this to the Sahaba Ikram. They didn't say about fiqh at that time. It wasn't implemented at that time. Rasulullah worked upon the hearts of the companions first until they came to a point, you know, where they was purified. Then all of the rules and regulations came in as well as they went along. So we're at the back, and we're here as long as you want us to be. And we say Jazakallah for your time, for listening. And may Allah bless all the brothers that have been here tonight.
MashaAllah, Jazakallah khair for explaining about your work in the prophetic path, MashaAllah. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us tawfiq to follow on the prophetic path. Just a few things that we need to think over and ponder over. This is troubling times for the ummah of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. If you read into the hadith, Sayyidina Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam has mentioned about the troubling times. A few hadiths. Sayyidina Abu Huraira radiyallahu anhu narrates and says that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, hasten to do good work. Hasten to do good work before the advent, before the beginning of the trials and tribulations come upon you. And those trials and tribulations will be like the pieces of dark night, meaning they will be the most hardest upon you, the most troublesome upon you, those trials and tribulations. And then Sayyidina Rasulullah said, a man, a believer, will wake up in the morning and he will become an unbeliever by the evening. And there will be a believer who will end his day as a believer, as an unbeliever, but he will wake up the next morning as a believer. These people who are losing their faith for a share of the world, they're selling their faith for a share of the world. They call themselves, we call ourselves Muslims today, but we are no Muslims according to the faith of Islam. People have been reduced down to calling ourselves Muslims by only a single name. Where is the action? Where is the amal? Where is the ibadat? Where is the following the sunnah or the sharia and the tariqah of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam? The Holy Prophet, peace be upon him, said, a time will come upon the ummah. A time will come upon the ummah when they will read the Holy Quran, but the Quran will not go further than their throat. Meaning it will not even go in their hearts. They will start to read the beginning of a surah, and without understanding the Quran, without having any taking any spirituality from the Quran, they will begin reading the Quran from the beginning of a surah, and they will end up at the end of the surah without achieving anything, without having no understanding, no spirituality. They're just reading the Quran like it's just black and white. A time will come upon the ummah. Sayyidina Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, a time will come upon the ummah when they will say, we remember when our forefathers used to say La ilaha illallah, so maybe we should say La ilaha illallah. These are the words of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam over 1400 years ago. That time is today. That time, what the blessed messenger of Allah mentioned, that is today. Muslims are only by name. We say we believe in Allah. We say we believe in Allah, but we do not truly believe from our hearts. We say that we believe in the tawheed, the oneness of Allah. We don't do shirk, but then you don't obey Allah. You say that you love the Holy Prophet, the Messenger of Allah, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, but you don't follow the Sunnah of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. You say that you love the Holy Quran, but you don't read the Holy Quran. You say that you love Islam, but you don't follow Islam in the way that the Sahaba Ikram used to follow Islam. Then what kind of Muslims are we today? What kind of Muslims are we today? People are stuck. You go anywhere in the world, you will see Muslims who are depressed. They're depressed because of their own conditions, because of their own weakness of Iman. You go anywhere, you see upon their faces that they're depressed, they're stressed. Every household, people are stressed. Tusi har ghar jao, koi bhi ghar chale jao, har ghar vich Quran Sharif majood ho si. Ek nahi beshmar Quran Sharif majood ho san. Tusi jitne Musliman de ghar jao, har ghar vich masalla ho si. Har ghar vich khubsurat दीवारों के ऊपर खूबसूरत फ्रेम हसन कलमा शरीफ दियां, आयतो कुर्सी दियां, यासीन शरीफ दियां, You go in every Muslim house, there will be Islamic decorations. They decorate their houses with Islamic decorations. But इसके बावजूद हर कारिश परेशानी है, हर कारिश परेशानी है, हर कारिश तकलीफ है. Every household, people are going through depression. People are going through stress. They decorate their houses, but what about decorating your hearts? What about decorating your hearts? दिल में सुकून नहीं, दिल में सुकून नहीं, रूह में ताजगी नहीं, घर में मुस्तफा नहीं, आदमी आदमी नहीं. जब तक मोहम्मद मुस्तफा दा जिक्र कारिश ना होवे, कारिश कदी सुकून हो ही नहीं सकता. क्योंकि मोहम्मद मुस्तफा दा जिक्र दे नाल रहमत, अल्लाह पाक रहमत नाज़िल फरमांदे. They are rahmatul alameen. Bring the zikr of Allah and the zikr of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam in your homes. Read through the salam. Make your children read through the salam and salawat al-Nabi. Make your wife, make your families read the Quran Sharif and read through the salam. Don't leave it for just Fridays. Every day, remember Allah and Allah's Rasul. Ati Allah wa ati Rasul. Obey Allah and obey Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. How many times do we read the ayat, the verse, Surah Asr? Wal Asr, innal insana lafi khusr illa allazina amanu wa amilus salihat. And the translation, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling us that by the decreasing day, man is in loss. Man is in loss, except those who believe and do righteous work. Wa'amilus salihat, who do good work, righteous work. Only those people will succeed in this dunya and in the akhirah. Otherwise, man is in loss. Man is in loss. You have to remove this, the dirt from inside your heart. Remove the dirt from inside your heart and bring purity in your heart. Remove the shaitan from inside your heart and bring the love of Allah in your heart. Remove the enemy from within you and bring the friend of Allah inside your heart. Remove the haram from inside your heart and replace with halal. Remove the haram from inside your heart and replace with halal. This is the only way we will succeed in this dunya and in the akhirah. Aaj te khushkismat ala din hai. Kyunki my brother here, mashallah, I'm just going to relate one ahadith and then I'm going to pass it over to the brother. There is a hadith which is recorded in Sahih Bukhari. There was a freed slave by the name of Abdullah. He was the slave of Asma bint Abu Bakr radiyallahu anha. She was the sister of Aisha Siddiqa, and she was the daughter of Hadrat Sayyidina Abu Bakr as-Siddiq radiyallahu anha. She says that when Aisha passed away, I took the kameez of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Oh, kaise barakat ali kameez si. She had the kameez of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. She said that we kept that kameez as a tabarak, as a blessed relic. And what we used to do is we used to wash the kameez. We used to wash the kameez and the water. We used to drain the water from the kameez, from the shirt. We used to save the water. And that water was water of barakah. Blessed water. And we used to drink that water. And we used to distribute the water to all of the Muslims. And whoever drank from that barakah water, they would be cured from any disease, any illness, any bamari, any bad nazar. Only from the barakah of the pani which was drenched and drained from the kameez of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. That's the barakah of these holy relics. Today, mashallah, the brothers have done the ghusl sharif of the Muhim Mubarak. They have washed the holy hairs of the Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and that water, which is barakah water, that water has been saved in bottles, and we will give that water to every single person who has come to this gathering today. You can take that water home and drink that water with the intention, with the niyyah, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala cure you from any illness, from any disease and any bad nazar. For those who have aqidah and yaqeen in Allah and Allah's Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam, may Allah remove all of the dirtiness from within you and replace with barakah and halal. You are all khush kismat today, mashallah. I pass it over to my brother. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala keep us on the straight path and keep us always in the love of Allah and in the love of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam wa akhirana.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Wassalatu wassalamu ala Rasulihil Kareem. Inna Allaha wa malaikatahu yusalluna ala nabi. Ya ayyuhallazina amanu sallu alayhi wa sallimu taslima. Allahumma salli ala sayyidina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi. Peace and blessings upon the holy and the holy soul, Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. There is maybe 10 minutes about the relics, and I will tell 10 minutes about the charity. The relics, first of all, I want to thank all the management committee for allowing us to do the Ziyarat event in this masjid and allowing to collect for this suffering ummah or Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. I have a speech problem. As you can see, I'm paralyzed on one side. I have a speech problem. If anybody doesn't understand anything, they can raise their hands and ask again. Some of the tabarruks, most of the tabarruks here, you probably would have never seen that before, and you will never see them again, because they are from inside the Kaaba Sharif and inside the Rawza Mubarak. And they are 400, 600, 800, 1400 years, and some relics that are even 3,000 years old. At any point, anybody wants to ask any question, you are free to ask. I will quickly talk about my charity, 10 minutes, and then we'll go through the barakat. And then everybody can get up slowly, one by one, and do the ziyarah. And as they walk out, they can take the blessed water with them. Here today we have 63 more Mubaraks. Okay, Hazur Pak Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, 63 Zahra Zindagi. And we have nearly 40 Zulf Mubarak. We have a Zulf Mubarak and a Moy Mubarak of Abdul Qadir Jilani. And different personalities, qualified actually, different personality. I work for the charity called Sacred Trust. Hazur Qibla sportsmen, not mentioning many top awliya Allahs of this time and age and time. We have a warehouse in Bradford and in Blackburn. We send 40-foot containers, maybe about 5 to 6 weeks. Think of 40-foot containers. In the last container, we sent 24 pallets of food, about 300 bags of clothes, medical equipment, medication, and 2 ambulances. And the total, the same amount of food is the same amount of medication is sent every time we send a container. And the cost is about 80 to 90,000 pounds. Now, without your brother and the sisters' helps, it is not possible. The container, we ordered a container with cost is 2,400 pounds. On top of that, 89,000 pounds. From which the container goes into Syria. Most of the charities, the containers go on the borders, but our container goes inside Syria. We feed 1,000 orphans every day and night. Day and night. Now, as you can see, I'm paralyzed. I want everybody to help me, please. And that's why I am here from. Last night, I came from Birmingham, 3 o'clock in the morning. The brothers knows. 3 o'clock in the morning. And I've been doing this for 6 months, day in and day out. Day in and day out. And 100% donation. In fact, it's 101%. You know why? We pay for our petrol, time, everything else. Would anybody like to ask any questions about the charity? Dear, I would like to, would somebody close the lights, please? I would like to show you a video, just for about 7, 8 minutes, which will give you an idea, okay, in roughly what we do. Can everybody sort of face against that wall, please?